Welcome to Spiritual Tea with KhnumAa. So, today we're going to listen to a few story times, just a couple, about love spells that have backfired, okay, and the consequences, okay? Now, the first person who's going to come up, she's going to let you know about how the love spell she did backfired and it ruined her life for 10 years. Yes, you heard that right. 10 years. But I'm not going to be the one to tell you. I'm going to let her tell you. But let this be cautionary, okay? Please don't do these. Okay, let's listen to what she says.
Okay, you guys, part 6 of how I let a love spell ruin my life. Okay? So at this point, the devil had gave me all that I thought I wanted. But now he was coming to collect what he wanted. It was time to pay the piper. And baby, I did not know that I had kicked off a 10-year cycle of payment. After I lost my truck, I couldn't afford to get back and forth to work. So that's when the jobs went. After the jobs came the eviction notice. And I know y'all saying, well, cool. You could have just moved with him, right? That's your man, right? But here comes the setup. He receives a letter from his office stating that he was keeping up too much ruckus. The older people in the apartment complex was complaining about the parties and the loud music and the people hanging outside, and they were evicting him as well. So now we both getting kicked out and we ain't got nowhere to go. Now it's life or death. Now it's fight or flight. Now it's struggle love. So desperate for something to do or somewhere to go, we end up in a hotel. And that hotel in Houston changed my life forever. Trying to find the money to pay for the room every day, get the kids back and forth, feed them, and everything else was becoming impossible. So after a little poking and prodding, I agreed to post the ad. Thinking nothing of it, like, oh, I'll just do this until I could get somewhere to go and get my kids back together and then get me a car and get back to work. This was not supposed to be a lifelong, long-term thing. This was supposed to be just a get rich quick scheme. Little did I know I was digging a deeper and deeper hole for myself. So, we get in the hotel. He's selling rugs, and I'm selling other stuff. And we're making money, but now it's getting exciting. I'm the trap queen. I'm loving it. I'm like, oh, we got money. He jumping out of cars. We still going back to the old apartments. You know what I'm saying? Turning up, partying with everybody. This low-key seems like the life. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what I want to do. Goofy. Now, in the meantime, to keep up with his rug habit and to be able to stay up to do whatever he was asking me to do and eventually forcing me to do, I became addicted to rugs as well. Meanwhile, my poor baby's watching this man put his hands on me, watching this man force me to do things in traffic that I didn't want to do, and they were fed up. The school nurse became concerned when my child came to school one day without a jacket on. It was cold outside. And I was so busy in the street that I wasn't able to pay attention to whether or not he had a coat on when he went to school or not. I was wrapped up. The devil had me in a blender. So authorities was called, right? Me being in a rugged out haze, instead of working with those people, I avoided those people. And that was the worst thing I could do. because they ended up doing like an emergency hearing and picking my kids up. I never imagined something like this was going to happen to me ever. Like, I'm the best mom ever. I consider myself to be the best mom ever. Okay? But I believe that the karma from using black magic on a person was that I had to lose something. I had to sacrifice something, whether I knew it or not, and that was my kids. Mind you, this is after this man had went to jail. Can I say that? I don't know if I can say that, but if I can't, I'll bleep it out. I'll edit and bleep it out. But he, for trying to hold me over a balcony and see if I can fly. Right? But I was so in love, I thought. The spell was working on me too. So I had his back. I was trying to stand by my man, honey. Even after all of that. So all of these things occurring caused me to be not living with my kids for 8 years. 8 years of fighting, 8 years of therapy, 8 years of rehab, 8 years of pulling myself together from one spell.
All right. Now, that was so sad. It really was. But this just goes to show, like, some of the consequences for messing with a person's free will can come with a very hefty price. And you have to decide whether or not it's worth it. Okay? All right. And so without further ado, let's get into the next story time.
For the sake of the story, let's call this person Rose. Now, Rose and her boyfriend had been together for 2 years, right? So they're out of like the honeymoon phase. Oh my God, I can't talk. So they pretty much like fight a lot, right? And so this all started over one really big fight that they had. It was to the point where they didn't speak for like a month, and within that month, he was so depressed, the boyfriend, that he took a trip with his family just to like get his head together. They visited other family, and this is where the story starts. So let's give the boyfriend a name. Let's call him Leon. So Leon is heartbroken. He's depressed. He just had a huge fight with Rose, right? They broke up. So his mom and his sister were supposed to take this small little road trip, so he decided to tag along. His mom was visiting an old friend. So they go. The road trip was pretty fun. He goes, he meets the old friend. So the friend was happy to see Leon because the last time she saw Leon was in diapers. So it was great conversations. They ended up talking about like the breakup and stuff like that. And so Leon was venting to her a little bit. And so the lady tells Leon, hey, I can help you fix your relationship. Leon is like, I'm all ears. How do I fix it? She said, don't worry. I will help you, but you have to do everything I say exactly as I say it. Leon is like, okay, great. But she doesn't say anything else. Like for the rest of the trip, she doesn't say anything about it up until that Leon is about to leave. So as Leon is about to leave out the door, she comes in with this little container. And in the container, there's like 3 little puff pastries. And Leon is like, oh my gosh, thank you, Auntie. Thank you for this. And, I'm so glad to meet you. I'm glad I got to know you. And so she goes, no, that's not for you. Leon is like, who is it for? Is it for Mom? She's like, no, it's for your girlfriend. And at first, Leon is like, huh? Okay, thank you. I will give it to her. And then she says to him, this is how you're going to fix your relationship. So he's like with puff pastries? She's like, yes. She says, give these to her and make sure she eats it warm. However, do not warm it in the microwave or the oven or nothing. Leave it in the sun for exactly 30 minutes so that it gets warm. Then give it to her. And as she's eating it, make sure you remind her how much you love her. Do exactly as I say, and your relationship will be just fine. Mind you, at that point, his mom and his sister was already in the car, so this is just a conversation between them. So he's like, okay, thanks, Auntie. They say their goodbyes, and Auntie reminded him, if you're gonna do this, do exactly as I say. If you're not gonna do it exactly how I tell you, don't do it at all. Leon is like, I heard you, Auntie. I heard you. So boom, they head back home. And really, Leon is not really thinking about doing it for real. But on his way home, he looks at Rose's story and Rose is outside. For some reason, that pisses him off. And he's like, you know what? I am gonna do it. So he gets home, he puts the damn bowl in the sun for 30 minutes like he was told. It got warm and he immediately went to her. Said, hey, I'm back from my trip. I missed you so much. I'm sorry. I don't care that we're fighting. Like, I brought you this. And she's like, aw, thank you so much, Leon. You're the best ever in the world. Duh. She takes the pastries. You know, she's just a girl. It's pastries. She starts eating it. And Leon is like, you know, I love you, right? Like, I don't want to lose you. I want our relationship to work, as she's eating it. Just like he was told. Cool. That happened. She eats it. And Leon is like looking at her like, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? But nothing happens. Nothing happens. She eats it. They hang out. They go to sleep. Everything's fine. So next morning, they wake up to their door being banged on. Like, somebody's banging on the door. So they both get up like, who is this? Like, who's banging on the door like that? Only to realize that it's Rose's mom. So they open the door. Rose's mom walks inside, goes straight to Leon, and says to Leon, you gotta pack your shit and get out. Leon is looking really confused, like, what? And so is Rose. Rose is like, what? Get out. Wait, mom, what happened? Rose's mom looks at her like, do you know this man tried to do voodoo on you? Rose is like, what? Leon, voodoo? Mom, come on, like, what? And then she looks at Leon, and Leon looked guilty. Guilty. So her face drops. Her face is like, excuse me? Like, why do you look like you're guilty? So immediately, Rose's mom puts her purse down, takes out her anointing oil, started to anoint Rose, and starts anointing the apartment while yelling at him to get out. Rose is standing there looking very confused. She turned around and Leon starts to pack his stuff so he can leave. And his face is still looking as guilty as ever. So Rose starts tearing up and she's looking at Leon like, what is she talking about? And why do you look guilty? And as she's saying that, Rose's mom turned to Leon and asked him, like, what is it that you did? Like, what did you do and why did you do it? Leon immediately starts crying. And he starts apologizing. He's like, Rose, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't think it was something bad. Like, I didn't think it would be, I thought it was going to be harmless. So Rose is literally standing there in such shock looking at this man. She asks him, what's going to happen to me? What was supposed to happen? What was the plan? And he goes, it was supposed to fix our relationship. But Rose is like, but what was going to happen to me though? Like right now, what's going to happen to me right now that I know? And he's just looking at her all stupid like, I don't know. That answer just pissed her off. So she just looked at him and was like, get out. Like, get out. My mom is right. You need to get out. Because at this point, she's freaking out. She don't know what's going to happen to her. She don't even know what he did. And he seems to have done something but don't know what he did, like what? And then she thought about it. She turned to her mom like, Mom, how did you know? Mom is like, I had a dream about it last night and I knew I had to be here first thing in the morning. God told me to come here and make sure you were okay. Now don't worry, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be okay. Nothing's gonna happen to you, but you need to let that man go. Now, Rose did turn out fine, thank God, like nothing bad happened to her. Besides having like a lot of nightmares, nothing else like bad really happened to her. So Leon definitely did try to come back to talk to Rose, but at that point, Rose knew that she couldn't get back with him, and quite frankly, like she didn't really want to hear anything from him. So she kind of like completely went no contact because she grew up in like a religious home. So after a situation where her significant other tried to literally do magic on her, like she wasn't having it. But sometime later, she ended up seeing her ex's sister. Now, her and her ex's sister were always close. Like obviously she met her through, you know, her ex, but they always had that bond. And the ex's sister wasn't one of the girls like that just, you know, enable their brother. Like she was a girl's girl. And so she ended up telling Rose the tea. Come to find out, that friend that gave Leon the pastries for Rose, come to find out she wanted her daughter to marry Leon. So those pastries were never even supposed to fix the relationship. It was supposed to break the relationship, which is exactly what it did. So that Leon can be single, and she tried to set up her daughter with Leon because Leon's parents did pretty good for themselves. And like I said, it was an old friend of his mom, and his mom wanted her daughter to marry into Leon's family. So yeah, that's the story, y'all. Rose is still standing on business. She says she's not going back to that man.
All right, so let these story times serve as a cautionary. tales, cautionary tales, plural, of why not to do it. There are plenty more reasons why not to. But you definitely don't want to put yourself in any type of karmic debt or any karmic cycles. So think about that before you do a love spell. Not only that, but you don't want to energetically like tie yourself or connect yourself to someone who has a lot of karma. Just because you're attracted to that person, you guys are having a lot of fun, you don't know like what type of karmic ties a person has. You have to really get to know a person. Not only that, but you don't want to bind someone's free will, because that in and of itself brings karma. So anyway, tell me your comments. Tell me what your thoughts are in the comments. Sorry. Let me know what you think. Let's talk about this. All right. And I hope everyone has a good day.